Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Tami from Nutmeg Notebook. So happy to have you here today. So we are going to be talking about some delicious food. As you see, I have quite the spread out in front of me. So this is all food that is found in the ebooks, the recipe ebooks in the vegan bundle, health bundle for 2025. And my submission, along with my friend Shada, we collaborated on this vegan cream cheese chips and dips book. I just got off of doing a live video with Chef AJ, where Shada and I showed what we have in the book and talked about it and talked about our favorite other things that are in the bundle. So we have over 30 recipes. I think there's 35 recipes, sweet and savory, cream cheese and dips. So all together, not 35 of each one of those, but all together. So the cream cheese recipes are made from tofu. If you cannot have tofu, there are alternative tofus on the market. So I did see at my Whole Foods that they have the pumpkin seed tofu, and Chef AJ said someone told her that there's also a hemp seed one. And then there was another one mentioned, and now I can't remember what it was made from. But anyway, there are alternatives. If you can't have soy for some reason, then there are different tofus that you can use in place of that. All of the recipes in here are oil-free, and they also can be made salt-free. We do use some miso in some of the recipes, but you can simply leave it out, and they still taste absolutely delicious. So, like I said, sweet and savory recipes for the cream cheese and the dips. And then we have crackers. Yes, you can make your own crackers. So these are my homemade flax crackers. These are the everything bagel crackers. They are crunchy and delicious, easy to make. I demoed them in my YouTube video on Tuesday. So you can, was it Tuesday or Monday? I can't even remember now. It's all running together. It might have been Monday. You can go back and catch that video as well. Then we also have some cracker or chip recipes that are made in the Dehydrator, but we do, we have both Dehydrator or oven ones. Chips that you, or crackers you can make from flatbread or pita bread, tortilla chips. We cover it all. Fabulous. So this is it's garlic and basil and sun-dried tomato cream cheese. It is absolutely delicious. It's one of Tom's favorites. It's one of my favorite savory ones. And then my favorite sweet one is a cinnamon raisin one that is absolutely delicious on toast, on your muffins, pancakes, waffles. It's great spread on slices of apple or pears or bananas. Just so much you can do with it. It's so delicious. So anyway, we did print off our book and had it spiral bound at Staples, and you can do that. Everything that you'll get in the bundle, there's 83 different submissions. Not all of them are recipe books. There's meditation and yoga and strength training and mindfulness and affirmations and doctor submissions on how to control your blood pressure, how to lower your LDL cholesterol. Dr. Furman has a 21-day weight loss plan, lose 10 pounds in 20 days. I mean, it's just filled with such variety this year. There is a little something in there for everyone. So I will go over the content again at the end as well, but this is what you'll be getting from myself and Shada. And we're super excited about it. So 83 different submissions. If you were to buy everything separately, it would cost over $5,500. Shocking, right? But you get everything for just $49. So, and I think we'll do one video, maybe not tomorrow, but the next day, just talking about how to get the most out of the bundle. Because I know we get a lot of questions about that, how to organize when you download and all of that. Okay, Jessie's in the house. She is helping us moderate today. Thank you for being here, Jessie. If you have questions, you can ask questions in the chat. Just preface with 2 or 3 question marks, and with 2 or 3 question marks, that helps those jump out at me. But if I don't see it, Jessie will copy and paste and draw my attention to it. So yeah, so many people are here. I'm so excited. It is a dark and gray day here in Northern California, but we are making our own sunshine. I have been in the kitchen cooking up a lot of delicious food. I have been trying a lot of recipes out of the bundle, and everything has been spectacular. So we've been eating really quite well. So what I want to talk to you about today are recipes that came out of Melissa Maris's, who is Raw Food Romance, out of her burger book. I was looking for the exact name. I think it is just called The Burger Book, or The Big Burger Book. Burger Book. The Burger Book. The Burger Book.
Burger Book.
The Burger Book. 144 recipes, including burgers, of course, vegan burgers, and toppings, sauces, and side dishes. Now, Raw Food Romance is all raw. And so the burger recipes in there are for putting in your dehydrator, which I do have an Excalibur 9-tray dehydrator. I love it. It works beautiful. I don't use it enough. What is great is I do love Lissa's recipes, and so when the bundles come out and I see her dehydrated recipes, then I'm so excited to get out my dehydrator and to make them. So if you do not have a dehydrator, today I am going to show you how I took one of her burger recipes for the dehydrator and I made them in various ways. Yeah, go ahead and show that, Tom. That's perfect. So there's Lissa. Is she just like the cutest thing ever?
Burger Book.
And there is the Burger Book. And she goes to great detail in her books. There are like the sauces. Everything is pretty simple and easy to make. And so I think that you will love them. Even if you are not raw. I am not raw. But you know what? About half of what I eat happens to be raw. I've come to that conclusion as I've been thinking about all the salads that I eat, all the raw vegetables I eat, all the raw fruit that I eat. You guys know every day for lunch, I have a big, beautiful chopped salad. That salad is raw. I put raw fruit in it. I do add some grain or have a potato on the side, but I'm getting over a pound of raw vegetables just in that salad, plus probably about half a pound of fruit in it. So I would say that I have a high raw diet. So anyway, that's exciting to think about. All right, so I decided that I wanted to make one of her burgers. Now, a couple years ago, she had another book in one of the bundles, and I made her Hawaiian burger out of that, and it was dehydrated, and it was delicious, but it was a little sweet for me because I was really looking for something more savory. So I asked Chef AJ, who's friends with Lissa, what burgers has she made for you that you liked? And she said, I think it's the classic nut burger. That's my favorite. And so then I texted Lissa and said, you know, is this AJ's favorite? You know, and she said, yeah, and it's one of our favorites too. She's like, it's one of them that we make most often. And so I was very excited to get started. Now I will let you know, you do have to soak the nuts for this one, and not all of them, not all of the burger recipes have nuts. They have low fat, they have like very low fat, and higher fat burgers. So you can choose how you want to have them. And she also goes into detail talking about if you do choose to have like a nut burger that's higher in fat, you know, how do you incorporate that into your day? She's like, first of all, only eat one of them. And so have plenty of sides and veggies so that you will get full. And so you only need one of the nut burgers. I thought, duh, that makes so much sense, right? It's a good way to look at it. And then just make sure that the rest of the day that you're eating low fat. And that will allow you to have a higher fat nut burger. Now, we have a restaurant close by in Fair Oaks, California, Sunflower Cafe. Thank you, Sunflower Cafe.
Sure.
And okay, and they have a nut burger that we love. So I was very excited to give this a try. So you do have to soak the nuts ahead of time. So I soaked them in water, in canning jars, in the refrigerator for 24 hours. What you see here is a double batch of the nut burgers, because I thought, well, if I'm going to all the work to make these, I'm going to, you know, make a lot. Batch cooking, right? You guys know how I love to batch cook, because the leftovers easily can be frozen. I also think, since these are dehydrated, great travel food. So for people who are thinking ahead of what's coming up for your travels in the spring, the summer, and the fall, then I think a lot of the dehydrated recipes are going to be perfect for us. So this is the classic nut burger. And like I said, everything's made in a food processor. It's all, I'll just tell you, it's nuts and flax and carrots and radishes and mushrooms and onions and bell pepper and garlic and celery. Is miso paste in it, but if you don't want the sodium, you could leave the miso paste out, and then a bunch of wonderful seasonings. And then she also has a recipe for making your own mustard, making your own ketchup, and then she has recommendations for each burger. And for this one, she's saying to top it with classic relish, and she has recipes for all of these. Pickles, fresh tomato slices, fresh red onion slices, butter leaf lettuce, and then to use her iceberg buns. And so they take a big head of iceberg lettuce, and she has instructions in the book on how to cut it to turn it into a bun. So I haven't tried that yet, but I did buy a big head of iceberg lettuce so that I can give it a try and see how it goes. So I'm super excited to try that. So she has different ideas for every burger, different toppings and relishes and different things that you can put with it. And then, of course, a lot of different sides and salads and things for it. Now, I want to show you how I go about making my burgers like this, so that they all see how these are all uniform. Then they all cook at the same time. And I will tell you, this plate was not dehydrated, okay? So I take a lid. This is a wide mouth canning jar lid that I just bought from Amazon. This is the same size as a large jar, wide mouth jar of peanut butter, like what we buy at our Costco, or the almond butter that we buy at our Costco. So if you have a wide mouth lid on a peanut butter jar or something equivalent to that, when the jar gets empty, save the lid, okay? Because these work great. I haven't tried using the metal rings for the canning jars. I don't think they would work so well because the bottom isn't attached. So then I just cut a piece of parchment paper, and then I crumple it up. I am losing my voice from doing all these videos. I do have water. And then I uncrumple it. Now this allows it to be a little more pliable. Then I put it down in, let's see if I put it here, can you see it? Then I put it down in here, and I just press it in, and I press around it. And then when I'm ready to make I do this for my breakfast sausages as well, and you can see it fits down in there pretty nice. And then I'll just use a silicone spatula to put my burger mixture in here and pat it down, and then I'll take it over to my tray, and if you just pull the corner of the parchment, it'll pop right out. And so this works beautiful. So I do this because I want my burgers to be round. I want them to be the same height, thickness, and so that they all cook evenly at the same time. Okay, so I learned this trick from Miyoko Shinner in a video that she had on YouTube years and years ago. And so I've been doing it ever since, and it's great. And if you wear little plastic food handler gloves, then your hands don't even have to get dirty for doing that. Okay, so I made up the mixture this morning for the classic nut burgers. And it's very, very wet. And her instructions, because you have all those fresh vegetables in it. And so her instructions say to use some cheesecloth to squeeze it out, or just to squeeze the excess moisture out, or just use your hands. So I knew that I had some cheesecloth. I got that out. Oh, well, it was a skinny little strip. Wasn't going to help me today. So then I took one of my fine mesh sieves, and I put some of the mixture in there and used a spatula just to push against it, and I got rid of quite a bit of the moisture. It was still very, very wet. And so I went ahead and I made up some patties. Now, I couldn't remember because it had been so long since I had made my Hawaiian dehydrated burgers. I couldn't remember how thick I had made them, and I knew they were going to shrink. Well, they shrink a lot, so I should have made these thicker, but I didn't. I did make them thin because I wanted to try to get them done before we went live, since I started making them today. I should have made them yesterday, but these took about, I think this thickness took me about 3.5 hours for them to dehydrate. So not too bad. So you could start them the same day. Now, to put these on a bun, we would probably use 2 of them because I made them so thin. But I'm thinking if I went a little bit longer and made them crispy, these could be really terrific to take on vacation with us. So if you have like a long plane ride or a hiking, yeah, these would be awesome, because if I made them completely crispy, they would not need any refrigeration, and we would be able to take this with us when we're flying someplace and keep some of them for the return trip home. So there's so much that you guys can do in your dehydrator. So I do dehydrate hummus when we travel as well. We'll have to do another video about that. So when I started the burgers out on my dehydrator, I had them on one of these Teflex sheets, I think they're called. If you want to know about my dehydrator, any of the accessories that I have, Tom has a link in the show notes to our Amazon store, and it's in the small appliances and accessories page. And so they started out on here, and when they were done enough that I could peel them off this without them falling apart, then I peeled them off and then just put them on the regular dehydrator tray like this. Okay, they smell so good. It smelled so good in here while all of this stuff was cooking. Well, I was afraid when I put these in the dehydrator, I was afraid that they weren't going to be done in time for today's show. And Tom had already put the thumbnail up and said what we were doing, so I felt the pressure to get them done. So here's what I did. I made, I used my lid to make these, but I made them thin. And then I put them on a piece of parchment paper on a baking sheet, and I put them in the oven at 400 degrees, and I cooked them for about 40 minutes. And I did not turn them over because I thought they looked too fragile. And at 40 minutes, they looked, done enough to pick up. They're still moist, but look, they got done. And that was just in the oven. So I could have made them thicker and just baked them for a longer period of time. Okay, so that's an option. She does say in the book, if you read the information before you get to the recipes, she does say if you don't have a dehydrator, you can probably make them in the oven on a very low setting. Well, that's if you're concerned about them being raw. I'm not concerned about them being raw because I'm not a raw vegan. And so I was happy to know that I could make these in the oven. Okay, so that worked out. Tom says there's a question.
Cheryl. She made me this
You can,
about how thin those are.
yeah, you can make them however thick you want to make them. So you might have missed the part where I was saying I was trying to get them done in time for today's show. And I was doing a Chef AJ show before we started this. And so I knew I was on a time crunch. So I made them thinner on purpose so that I could get them done. Now the ones in my dehydrator did get done. I could have made them thicker, but then it would have taken a few more hours. But next time I make them, I will make them thicker. But I was just trying to get them done for today's show. So, and she doesn't tell you how thick to make them. It's up to you. However many burgers you want to make and how thick you want to make them. The thicker they are, the longer they'll take to dehydrate. And so I did those in the dehydrator. I did these in my oven at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. I could have made them thicker, and then I would have just cooked them longer in the oven. But I was really pleased that that worked. Then
you want to clear up TS's question on that same subject?
Oh, sure. TS says, just joining, how do you rehydrate them? You don't. You're not rehydrating them. They are a raw recipe. And so the raw foodies will use the dehydrator at 115 degrees. They don't go above that because they feel like the food isn't fully cooked then, but it's somewhat cooked. But she goes into a whole explanation about it in the book, and I'm not that versed on it to be able to repeat everything that I read. I would need to read it again. And so you are not hydrating them. They are still soft in the middle like a burger, but you just eat them at room temperature, or you can eat them warm right out of the dehydrator. But what I was saying is, if I dehydrated them until they were crispy, then it would be something that we could take with us on a trip, and we would just eat them crispy. We wouldn't try to rehydrate them. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Can you grind them into a powder, then rehydrate like your hummus? I don't know. I haven't done it, but I bet you could. So it would be worth a try. So, I mean, I just think, ooh, this puts out a lot of new possibilities for dehydrated food for travel. Okay, so then I thought, well, I wonder if I can cook them on top of the stove on like a griddle. I wonder if that would work. So I made 2 patties. I started out with them thick like this, but they were not going to, I wasn't going to be able to get all of the moisture to evaporate before they were going to burn. And so Tom suggested that we flatten them out and just have them be like a thin patty, which we did. And we did it on a low heat so that they wouldn't burn. That allowed the excess moisture to evaporate. And then we got 2 thinner patties. And it probably took about 40 minutes on the stovetop. I gotta find something to wipe my hands off on in order to have those get done, because remember, they have raw onion and they have raw bell pepper and mushrooms and all kinds of yummy things inside of them. But you could do them on the stove top, and it's kind of like pancake thickness. That worked well. Then I still, because I doubled the recipe, I had a lot of the mixture left, and so I just added some organic sprouted rolled oats to what was left and decided to make patties out of them that would be thicker, and you know, we're used to having oats in our veggie burgers. And so, and then I browned these on the stovetop on a nonstick griddle, and it worked great. And I think they look really good as well. And so when I added the oats, I knew that that would dilute the seasonings that were in the burgers a little bit. So I did add a little more of the seasonings. I didn't measure, you know, I just added and then tasted it because, you know, it's okay to taste it before you cook it. And it tasted delicious, so I just cooked those up. So I just wanted to share that with you, my little experiment, so that you could see that you can still use these recipes without having a dehydrator for these. I was able to take that Lissa's basic recipe and add some oats to it to turn it into a different type of burger. I was able to cook some of it on the stovetop. I was able to bake some of it in the oven, and then I was also able to dehydrate them. So Lissa did tell me in a text message that she does like to make them thicker, and then she just cooks them for a longer period of time, and because they like to have a thick burger. So for us, we'd have to double up on these, but I was crunched for time and I wanted to get them done in time to share about it with you guys tonight. So I will make them again after we, you know, eat all these up. I will try them again, and I will make them thicker, and I will get some cheesecloth because I think the cheesecloth or a nut milk bag would be very helpful.
Do you want a warm cup of tea? Throat coat or something?
Yeah, maybe that would be good.
Throat coat?
I'm losing my voice, huh?
Throat coat?
Yeah, throat coat would be fine. I'm kind of losing.
Talking about slippery elm bark in the chat.
Oh, were they?
They can't hear me, by the way. I'm not mic'd.
You're not mic'd? Okay, so Tom just asked me if I'd like a cup of tea because I'm losing my voice. It's from all these videos we've been doing and all the talking that I've been doing. And my mom laughed. I was talking to her this morning, and she said, honey, you have been a talker since you started talking. She said, you never have a shortage for words. I used to always get in trouble in school for talking. So when my mom would go for my conferences, my parent-teacher conferences, the only complaint they had is, you know, she talks a lot. Because I was a little chatty with all my little friends.
You made amazed on your first date.
You were amazed on our first date at how talkative I was? I was chatty? Okay. So I'm chatty when it's one-on-one or when I'm talking to the phone, AKA my camera. But in a big group and stuff, then I'm really shy and I'm introverted, just so you know. But one-on-one, I am very chatty. Okay, so Cheryl Beckwar says, are you going to do a quick taste test? Anything like the Super Nut Burger at Sunflower? Okay, so I will tell you that I did, I had a little bit of the mixture left over, and it wasn't enough to make a big patty, so I made it as a small patty, and it was really delicious. So, yeah, I'll try one of them. Why not? I'll take a bite of this one. What? You want a bite too? He's over there going, because he wants a bite too.
I haven't had any.
Okay, well, okay, come have a bite, honey.
I gotta get your tea.
Oh, you're gonna get my tea first. Okay, I'm gonna take a bite, but then I can't talk.
So you're biting the...
This one. It's very good.
Hey folks, I'm not mic'd, so I'm yelling into Tammy's mic. Okay, so these are kind of on the soft side, but you would probably cook them more in the dehydrator again.
Well, you want it to be soft like a
Oh.
veggie burger, even in the dehydrator. You're not looking for it to be hard because it's a burger. It's just that it's
They're in the realm. They're not as
they're not as nutty.
The sunflower has a lot of chunky nuts in
Yes.
it, but it has that same base flavor.
You think?
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, I think it tastes different than them, but
They put sunflower seeds in there.
but this does have walnuts and almonds in it.
What if you added sunflower seeds?
And I think there's one that does have sunflower seeds in it.
That would nail the sunflower recipe.
Yeah, it would be a nice substitute for us, wouldn't
Okay,
it?
no, I like them. They're great.
Yeah, it's very good.
Should I finish this since it's already damaged?
I think that you should.
It's already damaged. I'm going to finish it.
I think you should. You should have that. Okay, but it's very good.
Yes.
It tastes really good. So anyway, I do think a nut milk bag or the cheesecloth would be very helpful in getting as much liquid out as you possibly could. And then that will also, the more liquid you can get out of them, then the less time it will take to cook them as well. Okay, so we're not going to try one of these right now, but I tasted the mixture before I cooked them. Oh, thank you, honey.
It's hot.
Okay, and it tasted really, really good. So, I mean, there's smoked paprika and sage and marjoram and just lovely spices in them. Okay, Jessie says that corn salad is so beautiful and yummy looking. Okay, you guys, this is out of the same book. Now, I made this last night. I had so much fun in the kitchen last night. Shada and I were talking on the phone, and she needed to cook, and I needed to cook. And I'm talking about healthy cooking with Shada. She's a dear friend of mine. I've adopted her as my sister. One of my sisters. I have a lot of adopted sisters because I have 3 brothers. I don't have any sisters by my parents. And so I've adopted a lot of girlfriends to be my sisters, and Shada certainly is one of them. So she just sat her phone up on her counter. I sat my phone up on my counter, and we cooked together. She was making other stuff, and I was making what I was making, and we were chit-chatting, and it was so much fun. We felt like, you know, we got to cook together, even though we weren't in the same kitchen. So that was really fun. So anyway, I made this last night. It's absolutely delicious. Tom wants me to hold it up.
Oh, I did the wrong thing. Hold on.
Okay.
I've got the, I want camera 2. There we go. That's the right one.
Okay, here we go, you guys. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh. Okay. There you go. It's hard to get it right.
I get everything right.
So this uses raw corn. You heard me right, raw corn. Now I was able to get fresh corn at my Costco, and so I just cut it off the cob for this salad. Shada and I decided that you could probably use the frozen corn. If you don't mind that it's not a raw salad, you could get the fire roasted frozen corn and do that. Or if you wanted to do your own fire roasted corn, you could put it in your air fryer before you cut it off the cob and toast it a bit, and that would also be absolutely delicious. And so a really lovely, refreshing salad. You can see how this would go really great with one of the burgers, and just full of fresh vegetables, fresh herbs, and absolutely delicious. She has a beautiful dressing that you can make for it in a small blender, and then just pour that over, and super delicious. So I think if you like doubled this or tripled it, it would be a great one to take to a potluck because it's very fresh, has cilantro in it, it tastes delicious, and we loved it. Tom and I had a little dish of it last night. We both wanted more, but I was like, we can't. I have to have it for my video tomorrow. And so, so we're excited tonight that we get to have plenty of this, and it's going to be so delicious. So I love Lissa's books. They have a lot of detail in them, so much variety. Even if you don't try the burgers, if you get the bundle, remember that you can turn them into something that you can cook on the stovetop quite easily. You will have so many sauces, relishes, pickles, and side dishes to choose from. I mean, she has a fabulous looking barbecue sauce. I'm going to make that. I bought some trumpet mushrooms today, and I saw when she was on AJ's, this recipe is not in the bundle, but they told how to make it. They just marinate the trumpet mushrooms cut up in the barbecue sauce out of the burger book, and then they put them in the dehydrator. I think I could probably put them in the air fryer if I wanted to, or I could bake them if I wanted to, or I could cook them in a skillet on top of the stove. But, you know, trumpet mushrooms have a really amazing texture. We actually grew some. I gave Tom a kit, trumpet mushroom kit to grow at home last year, and he made it, and that thing was so prolific. And for like $10 or $12, we had a huge amount of the trumpet mushrooms. You can get the kits on Amazon. Those are used in so many recipes because they kind of have a meaty texture to them. They have that kind of bite to them. And so just something fun to have a different texture, which I'm excited about. And so I will be trying those. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to try those. Okay, so these are out of the Burger Book by Raw Food Romance, Melissa Morris. This is one of my cream cheese recipes out of cream cheese and crackers, chips and dips that I did with my dear friend Shada. That is also in the bundle. And then moving on, I want to share with you something else that I made, and I made yesterday. I have to find room for this. I'm going to just put it there. I'm going to move this tray behind me. And so Lissa's in another book that they have. It's the Tailgate. Let's see, Tales from the Tailgate. So Lissa and her husband Nate, they love to go camping. They love to go hiking. They go to a lot of the national parks to go hiking, and they take all of their raw food with them because it's a lot harder to find raw food when you're traveling than it is to find vegan food. And so they just make all their food, take it with them, and they take stuff with them that they can, you know, all their salad ingredients. They even have a blender that they hook up to a portable power source that Nate has figured out how to do. Well, you may have heard last year about her incredible dehydrated vegan wraps. They are raw. They are incredible. I have made so many of them. Well, in this year's bundle, in the Tales from the Tailgate book that they have in there, she has, I think it's 6 of the wrap recipes. And this is the everything bagel seasoned wrap, and I made these yesterday in my dehydrator. And so I just wanted to show you, this is how it pulls off of here really easily. It's very pliable, and when I make these, I'll make like 4 to 6 of them, and then I'll put them in big plastic bags. So yesterday I made 4 of them, and I'll put them in these giant plastic bags. These are 2-gallon bags, and then I'll put them in the refrigerator. And so this one was the Grand Canyon wrap. So what's fun is they named some of the wraps, they named for the different places that they went to, I think, you know. And so they're named after different national parks. And so that one is really delicious too. I've made this one a couple of times, or maybe more than that. And then the Everything Bagel one is also in the book she had, similar. It's not the exact recipe, but similar to it. And I have made it multiple times. So these are the little trays that you need for it. These fit in the Excalibur dehydrator, and you can see they have a little lip around them, and you need that little lip because what you put in here to start with is a mixture that you've blended in the blender, and you have to spread it out and get it all nice and even. And then this goes on top of the dehydrator rack like this. So you put it on here before you fill it with the liquid, and then these go in the dehydrator. And they take, usually for me, they take between 12 and 15 hours to get done. And so if I put it in and it's going to get done at 11, well, I've been asleep for a couple hours by 11 usually. And so I'll just leave them in there and then check them in the morning. And if they still aren't done, then I'll dehydrate them for an hour or two more. And so, and then you can, once they cool, then you can peel them off, and you can store them without the mold. And I just put parchment paper. I have 2 of them in here.
The young dog has a question about that.
Okay, and I just have parchment paper between them. Okay, Colleen says, I've never seen bags that big. Yeah, I know, they're huge. I think I got these at Target. Probably Walmart has them, and I'm sure you can probably get them on Amazon. Could you look, Tom, and see if you can get, I'm wondering if there's one bigger than this.
If I can find them, I'll put them in food storage. Repeat that, please.
Okay, Tom says if he finds them, he'll put them on our Amazon store in food storage. And these are 2 gallon, but I'm going to have him see if there's a 3 gallon one as well. Yes, Lee asks, do you put parchment between the layers? I do, because they're a little bit, the underside is just a little bit tacky. And so I think that they might stick together. So tomorrow I'm going to do a video, and I'm going to show you how I fill these and give you ideas for what you can put in them. So in the summertime, we really like my chickpea salad with the dill caper dressing. And so I like to make that chickpea salad up, and then we like to fill these with the chickpea salad. Now, if we're really, really hungry, we can eat 1 whole wrap per person. If we have some side dish fruit or something else to go with it, then sometimes just half of one of these will be enough. But you can fill them with a ton of greens and all different kinds of veggies, and we'll talk about that tomorrow when I show you how I'm going to fill this. And they're great for travel as well. So road trips, going on the airplane, they will go through TSA. And so as long as you're not going to, I mean, I think Nate said that his got confiscated, his fixed wrap got confiscated when he went to Mexico. So, but we've taken them on a plane with us, but we eat them, you know, right away. And so it was no problem. But it could, maybe it depends on what country you're going to. Okay, Jesse says, Colleen, the ones I get are Ziploc style, hefty slider jumbo storage bags, 2.5 gallon size. Oh, good to know.
I'm going to add those. I just found them.
Tom just found those. He's going to add them to our Amazon store. In food storage, and the link is down below. Tami says, are they really thick? No, these are not really thick. I want you to see. They're kind of like about the thickness of a flatbread, or can you see that? Or a like a flour tortilla. They might be a little bit thicker than a flour tortilla, but you see how pliable they are, and so they roll up really nicely. So you can take my cream cheese and you can spread that over it for flavor, and that is really delicious. So this is the tomato basil, sun-dried tomato basil one with roasted garlic. That would be delicious on this. The jalapeno one, the plain cream cheese. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with these. They are just awesome. I was so tickled last year because I'm gluten-free. These are gluten-free. So these are made with, like each one has a little bit different ingredients in it. Some have raw sweet potatoes, some have raw carrots, bell peppers. Most of them have onions, but she does have some that don't have onions. So if you can't have onions, there's a little bit of flax and psyllium husk and lots of flavor, lots of seasonings in them. and some fruit, some dates. I mean, she is a master. She has figured out how to make these beautifully so they don't get too dry and they don't crack and they actually roll up. So because I'm gluten-free, you know, there's not a lot of like oil-free, gluten-free wraps available. There are some that are made with like almond flour, but they're very high in fat. And so I was so excited to have something that I could hold on to that was like a sandwich. When I first started making these, it was just incredible. And so, you know, perfect for all of your summer activities, travel, you know, going for your bike rides, going hiking, road trips, whatever. These are so fantastic. And so you'll have 6 recipes in the Raw Food Romance, Tales from the Tailgate. And she gives you, you know, the recipe for the wrap and recipe for what to fill it with and a dressing to go with it. So you can take a dressing with you. You know, if you're going to be traveling with them, you don't want to put a lot of wet ingredients in them. And so you would probably want your dip or your sauce or whatever to be on the side. That will count towards your limit in your bag on carry-on for air travel for your liquids. But if you freeze whatever your sauce is, then it'll go through TSA, no problem, and you won't have to have it count towards your liquids bag. It won't have to be in your liquids bag. Okay, what is the average calorie count to one of Lissa's wraps? I don't know. She doesn't provide nutritional information. You know, most of us in the plant-based community don't have the nutritional information on what we make. And so she doesn't have that. It's not available. You could plug this in. You could plug all of the ingredients into one of the free nutrition calculators that you can find online. I'm going to take a sip of my tea, you guys.
Okay, I've got those links all updated in the show notes.
Okay, so Tom has everything updated in the show notes, in the Amazon links for all the things that we've talked about here. And if you don't see it now because he just did it, then just refresh your YouTube page, and that way all of those new links will show up. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. So, Jesse, do you know what, I can't think right now of one of the nutrition calculators that's available online. I know there's several of them, and then you can just plug in all of the ingredients and then it will calculate the nutritional information for you. Or if anybody knows of it, tell us what it, Tom's doing a search, and so he can put a link in. Thank you, honey. All right. Let's see. Okay, and then about these are silicone for those of you who are concerned, and so they're silicone, and so BPA free. And then on these great big bags, I wash these and reuse them. And so, you know, you can use them over and over and over again. And if you don't want your wrap to touch it, then just put a big piece of parchment paper in there. Okay, let's see what else is going.
Here's a link to a list of, you know, because like my Fitness Pal's in there, some people may already have that, so I'll just drop it in the comments.
Okay. Leanne says, I bought the silicone sheet molds and the Ziplocs last year for the hand salad book recipes and never made them. I'm feeling more motivated now that our kitchen renovation is completed. Yummy. Do it. So, you know, it's just a little learning curve in the beginning, but, you know, stick with it, make them, and I'm sure that they'll turn out really good. I only over dehydrated one batch where it was more, I left it in too long. When I tested them, Lissa says when you push down If your imprint stays, it's not done. If it bounces back up, then it's done. And so I miscalculated how much longer to do them. And so it was more like cracker-like, still edible, still delicious, but it wasn't pliable enough that time to use it as a wrap. Okay, it's exciting to have a new kitchen.
Did you see the comment from Tami? Is that for 1 or 2 people?
You know, it all depends on your appetite. Like I said, sometimes Tom and I will share one if we have, you know, side dishes, like you make a potato salad, or you know, you have French fries on the side, or, you know, it just depends on what you have. Then, you know, one of them can be enough, and also depends on what we fill them with. Now, when we fill them with my chickpea salad, then, you know, half is very, very filling, especially if you have something to go with it. But if you just do all veggies and maybe just some of the cream cheese, then it might not be filling enough, just half, and you might need to eat the whole thing. So it just depends on how hungry you are, what our activity is, and what else we have to eat with it. And so, you know, sometimes we'll each eat the whole one. I'll wrap them and then I'll cut them in half, and then because they look really pretty when you do that. And so sometimes we'll eat a half and sometimes we'll eat a whole. So it's all up to you. Okay. It does look huge, but you have to remember that this is made from fruits and vegetables. And so I'm pretty sure that it doesn't have a tremendous amount of calories in it. And then once you roll it up, it doesn't look so intimidatingly big. So that's fun. Jessie says, they can easily work for 2 people, but I've seen one person eat a single wrap at a meal. Yeah, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I eat the whole wrap. Like I said, it depends on what you fill it with, because it can be very filling or not, and it depends on how hungry you are as well. All right, so Tom put a link in the chat for Chronometer app. That's the one.
Where's the other one?
That was one that I was thinking of, and then he also has.
Thinking of that one?
Yes, and then he also has.
Okay, I just mic'd up, so I'm here
Apple.
too. So yeah, actually, Apple and Kathy and Colleen all mentioned however you say it. Chronometer. So I searched that and I dropped a little search link in there. So
oh, perfect.
It's something that Apple seems to be really aware of.
Okay, good. And then MyFitnessPal, I used to use that when I, counted some calories and stuff years and years ago. And you can create an account, and then, like a lot of times you'll have to add things.
Is that the one where we had the watch thingy too? That was Fitbit.
That was Fitbit, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and Jesse put in, for those of you like me who use websites instead of downloading apps, you can also try this website for
Luddites.
Calculating calories, Luddites. Okay, perfect. So we have lots of options there for you guys. So does anybody have any questions about anything that we've talked about today, or any questions about the bundle in general? I'd be happy to answer them. Would you like to have us do a video where we talk about downloading it and storing it and organizing it, and how to get the most use out of the bundle? Is anybody interested? Because we could do a video.
Didn't Lisa do that last year? She did a how-to. Hey, everybody.
I don't know.
I'm just kind of rolling in here.
You have your.
I turned on my mic.
Good.
So she did a tutorial last year on how to do that. So what we might do is.
It's really easy this year to download it, don't you think?
Yeah.
because you just do one item at a time. It was really easy for the computer or for the
Yeah, and it
iPad.
didn't take that long. You know, one thing early in the session that we have here this afternoon, some folks were talking about videos, and in particular the McDougall site. You know, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, we had a course in the bundle where you had to register because it was actually it was a full academy level course, and you needed to register for the course and then take the course within the Nutmeg Notebook website. Mm-hmm. We actually still sell that course, 2 of them. Beautiful chopped salad course with Tami and the batch cooking course with Tami. Those are still on our site for sale. They were included in those previous bundles, but if you didn't register back then, it's too late. But people were required to register on our site to have access to those videos. Starting 2 years ago, the management at Vegan Health Bundle requested that we do our programs so that they were PDFs, and if there were any videos, that those videos were links embedded in the PDF. And that is the common thing to do now. That's the conversation amongst the...
But not all of the courses with videos have that this year.
No. But that's how
more people have transitioned to it.
Yeah, that we transitioned to that in particular last year, because this year's ebook is purely an ebook, not a course. And so we don't have embeds of videos in there. Last year, we did have links in the PDF, and that's the most common thing for most bundle offerings, but not all. Some of them you do have to register for, and because it's a different animal. When you have a course with chapters and lessons and videos, that is a different animal, which requires a little more effort from the student to get online, get registered, and be involved. So, and you know, a huge value though, especially that McDougall one.
Is amazing.
Yeah.
So Georgia, Leanne, several people said yes, they would like a video about that. And Stephanie says, how long do your dips and spreads last in the fridge? You know, it's going to vary from fridge to fridge because it depends on like how often does your refrigerator get open? Is it towards the front of the door, the door?
Our batch prep chopped salads, we are keeping them in the garage fridge, half of them at the beginning of the week, because it gets opened less. And so they actually stay fresher out there than in this one that we're into. You know,
several times a day,
3 times a day.
Yeah. So, so I would say about 4 days, that they're good for about 4 days. Now, we have not tried freezing all of them. I do freeze the cinnamon raisin one, and it freezes beautifully. The ones that have fresh fruit in them, those would not freeze well. And so I think that the tomato basil one probably would freeze okay, but I haven't tried it yet. And so, did you want some?
Well, you said tomatoes, so now I want one. These little tomatoes are just fun to just pop in your mouth and they explode with tomato flavor.
Yeah. So if you're a household where the refrigerator gets open and closed a lot, you may have noticed that like salad dressings and some of your vegetables and your salads and things don't last as long. And like by accident, we found out that our salads did better in the garage fridge. So that was a good thing to learn.
Barbara Chase has great advice here. I say on the last comment, that's exactly what I did. Tami had me go to her desk. And I don't know if you held the paper, but as we downloaded them, we kind of checked them off as we went to make sure we didn't get a duplicate file.
Yeah.
Because I hate to waste storage space in my computer.
And you don't want to miss anything either.
No.
You also don't want to accidentally miss one of the
books.
So
we were both there, and one of us was checking off, and the other one was clicking download.
But then the great thing too is you can look at your download list on your computer and compare it against the printed list that you, because I think at the top.
And where is that printed list? Because that was our guide.
It's the very first download.
Yeah, show them that.
So the very first.
Here.
The very first download, when you go to download the bundle, the very first one is this alphabetical list.
The list.
Of what's in the bundle. And so you just print this, and then you can, once you've done your downloads, then go back and look at your downloads, whether it's on your iPad or your computer, wherever you've put it, and make sure you have everything. And then we also recommend that you do a backup or put it on a flash drive so that you have it in case something crashes. And it just works out better. So if you're just joining us, we are talking about the Vegan Health Bundle for 2025. 83 submissions.
We haven't mentioned that for like half an hour.
I know. 83 submissions worth over $5,500 if you were to buy everything separately. But you get everything for just $49. It's all e-content. So we have an affiliate link in the show notes where it says more, and we only earn a commission on the bundles that are sold with our specific affiliate link. So if you decide to buy it from us, thank you so much. We appreciate that. And then you will get an email from Send Owl. Now, it may go to your junk email folder because they're not in your contact list. And so check your junk email or your spam
That's kind
folder.
of the most common support reply is please check your junk email folder, and usually that's where it is found.
Now, if you don't get it, it's usually because
you may have typed in your email address incorrectly. And I have that actually a lot, even on our nutmegnotebook.com subscription situation. I'll get an email from somebody that says, I'm not getting your emails. Well, I go in and there's just like one letter that is just off. So when I'm sending out emails from our email machine, I call it, it goes into oblivion. So anyway, can the download be done in alphabetical order? Is a question that I'm seeing pop up on the screen.
it's in the order, how the order.
I would download it in the order that it's listed. Yeah.
Yes. It's listed in a certain order, and she tried to do it alphabetically.
More or less. But
less.
But like Tami Kramer and Shada Soleimani is going to be in the T's. One year we did batch cooking, and it wasn't in the batch cooking, it was in the ends for Nutmeg Notebook batch cooking. And then another year it was in a different place. And so we did have some communications about how things are named, but I think we're probably, I don't know where this year's
I don't even see us on this list.
Look in the S's for Shada, look in the T's for Tami Kramer.
It wasn't.
Or is it in the ends for
Here,
Nutmeg?
you look at that one. Originally it was, but I asked her to change it to Tami because
maybe you didn't make the list. If you did change it to Tami, you'd be like at the very end because that's Tim Kaufman and Timmy Hagenberger.
But now I don't even see it there.
Oh, here, you're in the ends. This year, we made the ends for Nutmeg Notebook and Shada Soleimani, cream cheese and crackers. So Tami Kramer did not make the cut.
Well, no, I asked her to change it to Tami Kramer.
Well, maybe she has since then.
Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to look and see because, we got to download it.
We're on the
early.
list. Just make it a game. You'll
Find
find
us.
it.
Yeah, so Barbara says it can be intimidating when you get your first bundle, but it's really easy, and you can always email Tom if you have any questions. Just make sure you purchase the bundle by the deadline. Good job, Barbara. She can take my job.
Yeah, and the actual bundle support where and Charles manages that, Chef AJ's husband Charles. They are one of the co-producers of the bundle. Alyssa Morris and her husband, and with Raw Food Romance, and Charles and AJ from the Chef AJ site. They are the collaborators, producers of the bundle. So they are the organizers. They're our foundation. We are agents for them in sharing about the bundle. Very happy to do that. So they are both all there to support, since the bundle is really their baby. And
the email support address is
uwlbundle@gmail.com. Kind of calling back to Chef AJ's prior career with the Ultimate Weight Loss Program. So it's I think the first one maybe was called.
We called it the Ultimate Weight Loss Bundle.
But we morphed it into Vegan Health Bundle because
it's not all about weight loss.
Everything doesn't always have to be about weight loss. So anyway, uwlbundle@gmail.com. They can check on your order. They can see where the acknowledgement was sent. They can check for typos on the email address. They can make sure your payment went through.
And they can help you with the download questions.
And then they can resend the download invitation. All of that happens by Charles at uwlbundle@gmail.com. If you do send me an email, I'm probably going to forward it to Charles at uwlbundle.com. So, because I can't look, I can look things up on our site. That's what I do. I do all the support for Nutmeg Notebook on our courses
but you can't
purchases.
you can't do support for the bundle.
I can't see inside what's going on their back end.
Right.
No, I can't.
Yeah, we are contributors and affiliates for it. Okay, so
how many live courses are there? CD wants to know.
I don't know if there's. I think there's one person that's doing dessert courses,
upcoming live classes
over the let me look. Chef James Sant, is that it? Sant or Sant? Delightful Desserts Class Access. And so you sign up for his, and then he's going to be doing classes periodically throughout the year that you will get. And I didn't get past signing up for it. I didn't have time to go in and read all of the information about it. That is the only one that I know of that is going to be doing classes at a different time. Otherwise, everything is either a video class or a recipe PDF that you just download. And so
a lot of the PDFs, like Kathy Hester's PDF for her course that we did the previous videos on,
the pizza,
is a PDF download. But then she's got 2 full video courses that come with that, but they're links within the PDF. So you're getting a course, but it's a course that already happened, that was recorded, and so that actually works very well for an online product like this. But the upcoming courses can be exciting too, because it's, the vanguard of what's going on right now. Yeah,
absolutely. So we do recommend that you go ahead, download all 83 things, because, sometimes life happens and they forget about the bundle until we start talking about the bundle for next year.
We had a couple of those earlier this week that where people were going, oh my goodness, I got to go in and download last year's bundle because they only had a few days left.
Yeah, so you have 1 year from the day you purchase it to download all the content. So go ahead, download everything, and then you can take your time to go through it. And if you find something you don't want, then you can delete it from your device.
The exception will be, for instance, the gentleman with the courses that you register for upcoming courses. Those may have come and gone. We did have some issues in our first couple of years because we had courses in the bundle and we put a 1 year registration period on those courses. And some people bought the bundle, but they never registered for the course. So the year came and went, and then 2 years later, I'm getting an email about, well, I bought the bundle 2 or 3 years ago, and I never registered for your course. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You can still buy the course online.
But we don't have any way to verify after that period of time.
Yeah.
We don't have any way to verify that somebody purchased it.
So there could be sometimes sensitivity on live upcoming courses in particular, or even in recorded courses. Ours was, again, an academy level course, and so there was a timing issue with that. So
okay, so Jesse put the help desk email in the chat for anyone who needs it. Also, when you go to do your to buy it, you will see they have a Q&A or FAQ, and there's one, what happens if I don't get my email confirmation? And so you click on that and it tells you what to do, how to write to get help. And if you have your when I'm purchasing something online, just in case I don't get my email, I take a screenshot with my phone or a picture with my phone.
Thing.
Do you do the same thing?
I use my phone and I put it in pictures, at least until everything filters through, and then I'll go and then I'll delete it.
But that way I have my invoice number and the date and time of when I purchased it. So then I have that information. When I leave that site, if for some reason my email doesn't show up.
Yeah, you got an order number.
Yeah, then I have an order number.
We are so brilliant. We're amazing.
You're so funny. But yeah, so I don't know how long you have access to those live classes that the dessert guy is doing. I don't know if you missed the live, if there is a replay, you'll need to go to his site.
Yeah, when you do the download, look at their PDF. If there are parameters,
it will say it.
Then it will say it there. Be aware of the parameters.
Okay, so in my alphabetical listing, I was listed as Nutmeg, but Barbara says
you got moved to the T's for Tami.
And Shada's is under the T's under Tami. Thank you, Barbara.
Well, S comes before T, so it should have been Shada and Tami.
Yeah, so I never went back to
and
reprint that list, but we could go in and reprint the list. And you do have multiple downloads so that you can put it on more than one of your devices. So like I have a computer, Tom has a computer,
iPad,
and I have my iPad. And so we put it on his computer, my computer, and the iPad. And when you download it to your iPad, you do have to put it in. You have the option of files or, was it Dropbox? You have two options. I put it in files, and then when I want to bring it up, I just click on files, and they all show up with the little picture.
Yeah,
I mean, there's different ways.
Yeah, you have a big enough hard drive in your iPad that you have room for that.
Right.
People, you have to use cloud storage if they have, like you can buy something for 128 gigabytes, but I always buy everything 256 gigabytes for phones and iPads. So
yeah. So that's how we did it, and it worked out. Oh, I kind of made one of those radish roses, but I didn't get it cut. I didn't get it cut exactly right.
Why does that keep?
I don't know why you do
that.
But I was trying. But I need to cut more to the center.
More deep.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of pretty?
It's kind of pretty.
It was just before we went live. I thought, oh, can I make a radish rose? But I need to look at a video to see
kinda
exactly
like
how to do it. You're kind of pretty or smart.
Somewhat handsome.
Oh, you want to be
handsome. And very intelligent.
There you go. Oh, you're so funny. He isn't pretty. We won't call him pretty.
Have we covered everything we need to?
I think we did.
Can I have a grape?
Yeah. Oops. And I am about to lose my voice.
Okay. All right.
I'll need to recover.
Anything else,
for
folks?
Tomorrow.
We got to go.
Okay, I think that's everything, you guys. I hope that you're enjoying the videos about the bundle. Let us know what you think about the bundle.
What time are we coming back tomorrow?
I don't know. Let's see. We'll know tomorrow. What time do you think?
We're going to see how we feel tomorrow morning. We actually have material we want to cover. We just haven't decided what time we're going to do it.
Yeah, well, I want to do the wrap tomorrow.
To make a wrap.
I want to show them how to roll it up and make it.
Oh, and then we have what you made this afternoon.
What did I make this afternoon?
The souffle. The
I made, we can tell them what I made.
Okay.
I made those this morning. I forgot about
that.
They're
for tomorrow.
That was so long ago. I forgot.
What were they called?
Okay.
Omelets.
So in Chef Julia's 21-day challenge, she has a recipe in there. It's like just egg, and it is sprouted mung bean omelets. And it is absolutely delicious. Now, I did not have a 10-inch. We need to put that in the Amazon too. I did not have a 10-inch nonstick pan. And she said, you need that or it's going to stick. And she did use a little bit of spray oil in her pan, and then she wiped it out. I did not have to do that with my brand new pan. But if you've seen that product called Just Egg at the grocery store, and it's, supposed to be like an omelet, and we've never bought it. We've never tried it. And hers is oil-free. It is not salt-free because you are using some of the black salt in it to give it that eggy flavor, but you soak those beans overnight. We do have the organic beans, dried beans in our pantry.
We'll share all about the details tomorrow.
Yeah, but it's in our pantry because you're going to want to order them so that you have them, and you soak them overnight and then blend everything in the blender and then you make them. And
so
what do you want to say?
You fold this thing and you've got like what I remember used to, really amazing egg patty. And then one of Tammy's oat sausages that you make.
That would be so good. She has a recipe for oat sausages too, different than mine.
Yeah, and I do indulge occasionally on the high quality vegan cheese. I forget the brand. Cow cheese, CHA.
It's full of oil though. It's not healthy.
It's not healthy. Okay.
It's his splurge.
And then the Alpaca English muffin, and I can replicate what I used to do 20 years ago that was very bad for me. And this will be far less bad for me.
Okay, Barbara says soak the radishes in cold water. I just didn't have time because I didn't.
Oh, and they'll blossom out?
Yeah, because I didn't have time. But also, Barbara, I need to cut the center. I didn't get the center of it.
Well, let's cut it and then we'll see what happens for tomorrow.
I think I need a little paring knife for that. Stephanie says, what time tomorrow will you be on? Unknown. We don't know.
We have Pilates class in the morning tomorrow.
Yeah, we do.
But it's an early class.
7?
And then do you have any food prep to do for what we're going to do tomorrow?
Yeah, I need to make the sausages. And I was going to make this wrap.
It's going to be in the afternoon, folks, because the morning will be burned up with prep.
We can do the wrap tomorrow, and then we can do the sausage the next. So we could do this before lunch tomorrow. Yeah. And then have this for lunch. That could work.
Let's make our lunch, and then we can take a break, and then we can come back with the.
And then we would do the video. Mm-hmm. We would make our lunch live. Do the video. You guys
want to join us for lunch tomorrow?
We could do this for the video, but I have to get something made to fill it with, and then we could do the egg the next day.
Okay.
That could work.
In the perfect world, we'll get it sorted fairly early in the day, and then I will send out a little email with a thumbnail and a link to the YouTube video whenever it's actually going to happen.
Yeah, we might do it at 11.
Yeah, and then we can get off by noon, and then we can eat.
Oh, so red lentil, yellow lentil said, I moved to mung bean because Just Egg was just too expensive. I made some, and it tasted so fresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had our first taste this morning, and it was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we just had a couple bites.
I haven't tasted that flavor in a long time.
I know, it tasted good. I mean, to us, it tasted like egg, but like we haven't had eggs since like 2012 or 13, since 12 years. We haven't had egg, and so I was like, I think it tastes just like egg. But what does an egg taste like? I don't know. What does an egg taste like?
Well, you put that on one of your sausages that you make on the pascha bun, and I don't care. I think I'm going to be in delicious land.
Yeah. So super simple, easy to make, and I think you guys are going to love it. And I want to make Julia's sausages too. Mm-hmm. To have that.
Okay.
So Jessie says, Julia. Yeah, Chef Julia's. Jessie says, rest your voice, Tammy. So it could be 11 or it could be 3. We don't know, but we'll let you know on Facebook, Instagram, and hopefully an email tomorrow.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Tammy.
And we help you
get healthy and stay healthy. One bundle at a time.
Link in the show notes. See you next time.
Thanks, Jessie, for helping us out today. We appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for being so active in the chat. That is really fun to see everything and all of your great ideas. We really appreciate that. Tom's figuring out how to shut this off. We've got so much set up here. I should take a picture and post it. My kitchen looks like a TV studio right now. All right, you guys, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.